always had the style to pop. 100 on my fist and 100 on my watch.
Yo, what is up, people? Hey, thanks for tapping in with VinnyVin. That's me. This is your first time on the podcast. Welcome. See, I don't know how you found the podcast. If you was like at work trying to hide from your manager, so you over there in the back of the warehouse freaking watching YouTube, and you decided to click this video. Welcome. Appreciate you for joining. What if it's like your off day or whatever, and you just don't feel like doing anything? You at the gym, but now you at home eating a freaking banana smoothie, and you put this little podcast on. Well, hey man, welcome. Shout out to my fans who've been rolling with me since episode 1. It's episode 10 now. We get to check that off the box. We're doing some major things out here, so that's pretty exciting. That's a cool little milestone we got to hit. Yeah, man. Episode 10, let's just jump into it. What's up, you Chinese freaking New Year's, huh? You little Chinese New Year fans? It's the year of the horse, too. The same horse the freaking Chinese Mongolians would ride to freaking invade China. You know, one of those type of things. That's what I'm feeling like today. You freaking Finland sauna dwellers, what's up with you guys? You know, I've actually never been to Finland, but it is one of the places I want to check out at some point. And, you know, I was doing some research on Finland. And I'm like, you know, typically I like brown-skinned looking women. You know, a type of girl that looks like a cinnamon stick or whatever. Or she looks like some freaking rice pudding, but like the top of the rice pudding, that little cinnamon powder. That paprika spice or whatever. But I was looking at Finland, and I was like, man, if I was to, you know, indulge in some of those white chocolate bunnies, you know, Finland will probably be the spot because they got some attractive looking, you know, white-skinned women out there. But yeah, man, I was looking at some things. I was like, yeah, I want to go there, maybe Greece or whatever, check out the scenery. I want to go abroad at some point, you know. And Greece looks cool, but I don't know, something about Finland, like the nature look and all that. So I started doing some research. And I started looking at some things that I was finding was they came up with the game Angry Bird. You know, that's their thing. So, you know, if you see anybody out there with that freaking little Angry Bird haircut, they probably Finland or whatever. Yeah, man. If you a woman from over there at Finland and you look like a little Mimu, holler at me. You know, go ahead and freaking shoot me a DM. And I'll go visit you in your freaking sauna. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, that's their culture. They like to freaking, you know, throw some water on some rocks. And that's how they freaking let their steam out. You know what I mean? That's how they get some steam off their chest. You ask some Finland person for some directions on how do I get to the local store. And they over here just try to freaking lure you into their freaking home sauna. They're over here just freaking showing off their temperature gauge or whatever. They're flexing that off on you. They're like, it's freaking 100 degrees, but we can raise that to 150 degrees. Psh, throw some water on some rocks or whatever. They're showing you where they put their coals at. And I like saunas. Saunas are cool, but the saunas I go to are these gym saunas out here. And they're just a little uncomfortable for me. I don't really go too much to saunas anymore. They're just uncomfortable. And it's just because they're the public saunas, you know? Yeah, and I like saunas. Saunas are pretty chill. It's just the saunas I go to are all these like public gym saunas. And those saunas are kind of uncomfortable, you know? They're usually freaking full of people, characters, you could say. You walk in and you always see the same looking people in there. You see some freaking fat, hairy guy breathing all aggressively, you know. You don't know where to put your eyes because he's so uncomfortable. You look over here, you're looking at someone's freaking belly button. Or you're having a staring eye contest with someone's freaking neck mole. You know, it's just uncomfortable. I don't like to be confined in a hot box around all these freaking, you know, hairy people. It's not my kind of enjoyment in life. But that's because it's that freaking public sauna. And they remind me a lot of those New York subway trains. You know, it's just full of freaking people. You walk into one and you see freaking 16 elderly looking people, just laid out, looking like they passed out in the sauna. They just got done with freaking Zumba class or whatever. And they just over here freaking huddled up in a sauna. And then you'll see another freaking four people looking like they're some army recruiters. Listen to David Goggins on a freaking loud JBL speaker. You know what I mean? And I don't like that kind of stuff. I like to be kind of like peace with it. Um, and they even have like these nude saunas nowadays. Them nude saunas kind of sound like, who want to go to a freaking nude sauna? I don't know who would do that. Um, I would go to a nude sauna if it was just me and like some naked women. I would like to think I'd enjoy that. Probably until I have to get naked in front of these women, that I might start to get like insecure or whatever. Um, yeah, man, I'll be like, hey, give me a second, all right? I'm a little nervous. Give me a second. Yeah, man, what did I do this weekend? I went to like this comedy contest. I kind of wanted to measure myself up against some other comics out here doing their thing. And I ended up competing at a contest right here in Riverside. It was a pretty cool time, you know. Shout out to Jackie. Jackie, you hosted a great event. It was really fun. I had a great time. Shout out to the comics who were there. It was definitely a good experience for me. I got to network, kind of like size myself up, not compare, but like kind of like see where I'm at as far as like how far I gotta, push my limits and what I gotta do to improve. So that was pretty fun. I gotta meet some people, learn. I got humbled a little bit because I walked in there with that confidence. Like, man, I'm gonna try my best and I'm probably gonna walk out with this thing. I want to have one of those like, hey, my first ever stand up, I won $100 type of stories. But that's not what happened this time. But it's all right, it's only my fourth or fifth time going up to an open mic, so it's cool. It put in perspective though that like, at least I have the courage to go up there and do it. I committed to a couple bits. I mean, I freaking ran on stage like a little freaking monkey. The fact that I did that, even though my body was telling me not to, I still pushed through, and that was pretty cool. And that joke hit. I think my experience was I was just kind of like in my own way. My brain started to play tricks on me at the end, or in the beginning, actually, like really early in the beginning. Because I had this microphone, right? And I was like just holding it down here trying to talk, trying to look fly when I'm doing it. Talking like if I'm freaking Moses with a freaking, over here just talking like I'm about to just let one fly, like off a freestyle type of thing. And the judges who are freaking critiquing us is like, hey man, no one can hear you, pull it up. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize it, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I just start, oh damn, I'm already messing up. I'm only like 30 seconds in, is what I started thinking, even though I wasn't true. All I had to do is pick it up, you know. But they wanted me to keep the mic up to my freaking mouth like I'm freaking Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. They wanted that microphone in the back of my freaking molars. And, I didn't know that people couldn't hear me because it wasn't a big room. So I'm like, what do you mean they can't hear me? I'm right like 5 feet away from them. But so I started panicking a little bit, and it was just so hard to recover after that. I just started kind of like looking around, seeing people staring at me. I'm like, oh fuck. But it was cool though. It just really opened my eyes and humbled me. Like, hey man, you got to come into this stuff a little more prepared, bro. If you want to be a legend, bro, you got to train like one too. So it kind of opened my eyes. Like, all right, bro, it's a mind shift thing. I just got to change it. I just got to hustle a little harder and freaking prep a little better. So it was cool though. It was a good experience. Shout out to Peyton. Peyton actually won that freaking he won the contest, and it was a good set of his. One thing I admire of him, he was very confident when he went on stage, It looked like he was just in his element. You go to the safari desert and you freaking see just a freaking cheetah kind of doing his thing. Like he belongs in that environment. So I thought that was pretty cool. Me, when I get on stage right now, I'm kind of like a freaking hermit crab. I'm just kind of bouncing off the wall, trying to freaking find its way out. I'm like a little freaking badger, you know what I'm saying? Just kind of just running around, trying to freaking salvage some shit. So yeah, shout out to him. I feel like my set wasn't bad though. I had some laughs. You know, it's just I kind of stalled out a couple times. Would say a joke and then I wasn't, too confident, I feel like. So I kind of started forgetting and then I was thinking too much. Whatever. It was a good time regardless. And I told Jackie, I'm like, the next one you have, I'm coming back and I'm winning that shit. I don't care. So that was pretty cool. That's what I did this weekend. It was a good weekend. What else I do? What else has been going on with me? My friend, he's been having car issues recently. He drove his car into somebody's house not too long ago, so like he's kind of carless at the moment. And I told him, bro, hey, you better get lawyered up and go fight your case. Go ahead and tell them like this. Be like, Your Honor, there should be a sign that says don't drive here or whatever. Or that should have been a driveway. Pull up the research on how many other cars ran into this house. I want to know the stats, the statistics. Because I can't be the only one. I mean, the house is like, it looks like one of those houses that can blend in with the street. It could have been anybody, is what I was telling him. I was just trying to cheer him up because he's over here kind of going through it right now. And yeah, man, so I'm like, hey, you're stressed, but let's take your mind off of it, bro. Let's go do some stuff, whatever you want to do. He's like, well, I want to run a couple errands, It's my aunt's birthday coming up, and I want to get her a freaking Def Leppard printed tee from Spencer's. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, let's go. Let's go to the Mills, you know what I mean? So we show up, and I don't know, something about these freaking mall freaking vendors. They're just getting a little too aggressive nowadays. They over here coming at you 100 miles per hour. Like my friend's car, but this time I'm the house. You know what I mean? They just freaking drive right into you, and they just walk up, and how they sell stuff is just really interesting to me. They kind of shame you into buying stuff, cause you'll be walking and somebody walks up to you and they're like, "Hey, bro," or they'll yell at you from across the freaking mall, like, "Hey!" You turn around like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "You right there with the dirty ass shoes. You want to be dirty your whole life?" I'm like, bro, what? I don't even, He's like, you want to be known as a freaking dirty motherfucker forever? Dusty ass, huh? You can't fix your face, but you can fix your shoes, bro. What you gonna do about it? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? You know what I mean? And I'm like, bro, I just bought these shoes. I don't know what you're talking about. You might need to clean your glasses with your shoe cleaner because I just got these. It's like, oh, you just got those? What about your hat, though? Why does it look so dusty or whatever? I'm like, man, fuck this guy, bro. They just come off too aggressive for me. Like, I don't like that. But I get it, though. Trying to sell at a kiosk, people probably ignoring you all day, telling you, like, I'm good or whatever. Like, you probably got to come with that aggression. Or they're probably so fed up that they're like, man, I need to pay off these Gucci sunglasses I just bought. So I got to sell like 15 boxes by the end of the day. And it's hard to sell one of those things because nobody's going to the mall for shoe cleaner. And so, yeah, you see these malls now, they're trying to get creative. They're trying to like implement new kiosks to kind of draw in more revenue. Yeah, I went to this one mall and I see somebody over here freaking offering quotes for lawn care service. They trying to sell me some lawn care. And he's like, I got all the gear in the freaking parking lot. I'll cut your grass right now, Canada. I'm like, oh shit. Like, nah, bro, I'm good. I live in an apartment complex. I throw that little rebuttal out there, see what they say, see what they do. And he's like, I don't care, homie. I'll cut your grass still $60 right now. I'm like, damn. You'll see some malls, they just get freaking creative with what they're doing. They'll sell freaking plutonium by the freaking can or whatever. But yeah, man, I think the weirdest one is that massage parlor or whatever. People who get massages at the mall. Like, who's going to the mall to get a massage? I never got that. Like, you telling me you going to the mall and you getting a freaking massage by a Cinnabon? You over here waking up with your back sore and you're like, I'm gonna go get a freaking back rub and I'm gonna get that freaking Wetzel's pretzel right after. Actually, when I say it like that, that actually sounds kind of fire. You know what I mean? Getting freaking your shoulders rubbed by a freaking Taiwanese chick or whatever, and then you over here getting freaking pizza pretzel bites or whatever. That might be kind of cool. I gotta stop judging things so fast. But yeah, man, that's what I did this weekend. What else went on? I've been on YouTube a lot trying to manage my page, so I've been looking at like YouTube shorts. They just pop up. And I've been really, spending a lot of time watching these freaking babies crip walking, you know. Because I'm like, what grade are they learning this at or whatever? Like, that wasn't in Dance Revolution growing up. Like, where are they learning this stuff from? And it's just interesting because they doing that freaking cultured tap dancing, you know. They over here freaking us ABC walking, you know what I mean? Like, they just learning it at an early age nowadays. And if you're like a substitute teacher, right? People are already disrespecting you. People are already over here saying things about your mom or whatever. And you walk into class and just imagine you have a bunch of third graders freaking C walking. You let them do what they want. You don't want their freaking parents coming over here trying to tell you like why you disciplining my child. Because after they beat you up, they just start freaking C walking on you. Yeah, man, that's pretty dope. I just wish I could do it for one day. That's all I want. I want to learn how to sea walk for one day, to corrupt or whatever. You know how many women I'll probably pull doing that? Man. Because I don't really got too much rhythm. Like, I like to dance. I like music. I like that kind of like, hey, But I'm not the best dancer. I just want that little rhythm two-step, you know what I mean? So I'll be watching that kind of stuff. What else have I seen on the internet recently? Oh, there's this cool story right here. There's this girl from San Bernardino, right down the street. She freaking got a college university acceptance letter in the 4th grade. That's amazing. That's something that's like Einsteinian. You know what I mean? That's like, how does that even happen? How does a 4th grader get accepted to college? Like when she was born, did the doctor say, congratulations, it's a daughter? And they give it to the mom or whatever. And the mom's like, listen, we need a game plan on how we're going to pay this medical bill, okay? Because we got rent that's coming up in 2 weeks. So figure that one out. Like, she was probably just handed all different types of responsibilities at an early age, She wasn't watching cartoons. She was doing freaking architectural freaking blueprints and trigonometry, you know what I mean? That's what she was doing for fun. But that's awesome, that's super cool. Sounds like she's super smart. She's got a lot of things going on for her. So shout out to that little girl. But just imagine, like, you go to school or whatever, you trying to be a freaking environmental engineer. You about 90K in debt, right? 90,000. And you over here in the middle of a lecture, you turn around and there's a little 4th grader standing next to you. She's sitting right there taking freaking notes with a glitter pencil box and a bluey freaking pencil. Man, you got to transfer out of there. You got to jump in the portal and get out of there, bro. Because I'm not getting shown up by a little girl who can't even freaking see over the counter. She can't even make a scrambled egg omelet. She can't even go on a freaking roller coaster at Disneyland. I'm not getting caught up with that. Getting shown up by somebody who can't even do the bare minimums. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I was thinking about when I seen that. Because just imagine you over here stressing about your job, trying not to quit on a daily basis. And you look over and this little girl, she's freaking taking notes on like elements and shit like that. To me, I might just get kind of frustrated with that, Not at her, just at my life. I might not cope with that well. So I would probably just jump in the portal or whatever. Take my talent somewhere else. Oh, we got this new segment I started. If you haven't heard of my segment, this is kind of how it works. If you've got a topic you want me to talk about, go ahead, DM me. Leave a comment on the YouTube. Or leave a comment on the shorts I post. And I'll talk about it. Well, this week, I only got one. So if you want to go ahead and send some topics, I'll pick 3 out of a container. It says, hey, Vince, I just got my 3rd job. Damn, bro. You need some sleep. That's what you need, bro. After your third job, I already know you probably just freaking, your diet's probably Slim Jims, Pringles, and freaking energy drinks. That's a 3 job diet right there. Bro, what are you saving for? Are you saving for something in particular? You're trying to buy a boat, or are you just in financial struggles? You know, what's going on? Congratulations though. That's pretty impressive. You know, it's hard to get a job. Some people can't even find one job. And you over here freaking collecting jobs. You over here freaking collecting W-2s. That's what's up. Assuming from the letter that read, I'm assuming you're Mexican. So shout out to you and your freaking relentlessness. You know what I mean? You over here doing your thing. It makes me happy to know that you at least have shelter. You have to have shelter with something like that, you know? It makes me happy that you might have a cupboard full of canned goods and some of that artificial mac and cheese with that freaking cheese powder that you mix with hot water and you just eat it like that. So that makes me happy. I don't know what kind of job you got, but that's a lot of things to juggle. I wonder what your schedule looks like. You probably waking up at freaking, you that nocturnal owl, you know what I mean? You over here freaking eyes freaking bugging off all the energy drinks you freaking chugging. You have coffee in the morning, Red Bull right after that, and some freaking creatine for breakfast. You know what I mean? That's that 3 jobs right there. Who needs sleep? You know what I mean? Unless sleep is a job or whatever, I'll sleep if sleep's a job. You know. So yeah, man, congratulations. That's pretty cool. Take care of your health. This is what I would say. Hey, man, you proved it to yourself that you can get a job. Not once, but 3 different times. And not to discredit anything that you're doing, but this is what I would say. Hey, how about you proven it already that you can get a job? How about you swing towards the fence and go get you one of them big jobs? You know what I mean? One of those jobs that's going to pay 3 times the amount that you're getting from all 3 of those jobs. You can work just as hard as you are for one job and come out a baller, cuz. So that's what I would say. But yeah, man, congratulations. Yeah, man, I went on a date this weekend. That was pretty cool. And I went with my friend who's a girl, you know? So it was pretty fun. I like those dates a lot better than just hanging out with your friend. That's a guy sometimes, you know? Because you get to look across and it's a woman. I don't know. It does something to me where I just kind of like enjoyed that a little more. And it was cool. We had a great time. It's my first time really hanging out with her, so I was trying to, you know, match her energy, that little chemistry in a bottle or whatever. So yeah, that was pretty fun. I was like, well, hey, let's get together and let's go to this spot called Arcade Monster, right? It's a little chill spot. Nothing over the top, something chill. So we go, and it's just like one of those. It looks like one of those spots you would see on Toy Story where they're trying to where they're trying to save the alien from the claw. It's one of those kind of spots. So that was pretty chill. And you know, we doing our thing. They got freaking roller skate. They got freaking pinball. They got all types of different little games or whatever. So I got a little competitive. I tried to freaking dominate her at freaking air hockey or whatever. And that's what I did. You know, I took dubs. I let her win the last one. I wasn't even trying, bro. Like she would freaking hit it this way, and just to make her feel better, I would just leave my goal wide open, you know, because I was just freaking pounding that shit. But yeah, man, that was pretty fun. And it was funny though, because at the end, she's like, all right, well, that's fun. Let's go do some real grown up shit though. And let's go to an arcade that, you know, you can actually win money at. I was like, word? She's like, yeah, let's go to the casino. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let's go to the casino. And I don't really gamble like that, but I'm down, you know. I'm not going to be like, I don't do that. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. So we show up, right? And I'm like, whatever. I'll freaking take some money. I'll gamble right now. I don't care. I'll throw down. I'll throw down a little 40 piece. And so I'll pull out like some money. And then I'm like, well, let's go play it. Let's go play this slot. She's like, yo, bro, chill out. You know what I mean? You gotta fight. Is that how you always play? You just go to the first machine you see? I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, how do you play? She's like, you got to find the machine that's calling you. You know, it's got to be freaking whispering in your ear, like trying to hypnotize you, you know, trying to seduce you from across the casino. I'm like, oh, shit. She's like, yeah, you can't just pick any machine and then start clicking buttons. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So I'm like, well, how do you know? She's like, you'll know. I'm like, all right. So it's freaking Chinese New Year, right? So I just see this freaking dragon, you know, kind of going through the freaking casino. And it's doing like shit like this, trying to get my attention with its eyebrows. I'm like, oh, that dragon looks like it's trying to have sex with me or whatever. I think that one's calling me. So she's like, yeah, all right, let's go play. I'm all right, bet. So she's like, let me tell you a little bit about casino culture, though. You don't just go around pressing buttons. So she's all telling me a little bit about this casino culture, you know. She's like, you go to a slot machine, it's more than just pressing buttons, you know. You got to talk to the machine. You got to sweet talk it. You got to compliment it on its LED lighting, you know. Tell it how it really highlights its screen or whatever. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Nah, for real? She's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, right. So anyways, I'm like looking around the casino. And sure enough, I see some people over here freaking, I see a couple. And they over here freaking reading a notebook, you know, confessing their love to the machine, right? They're reading freaking poetry to the machine. Telling the machine what they're going to name their kid if they have a boy and what they're going to name their daughter if they have a girl. You know, just confessing some things to the machine. I'm like, that's kind of weird or whatever. I see this other freaking family, right? It's like a family of three, mom, dad, and this like I'm assuming is their daughter, and she's over here freaking watching their parents gamble, you know, and she's over here just freaking praying to the machine like, please don't let my parents freaking waste all my money, like that's my college tuition. Can you give us some money? I'm just praying this isn't for nothing, you know. So I'm like, damn, people are really talking to the machine. She's like, yeah, I'm telling you, like, it's part of the thing. All right. So I walk up to this one machine, that dragon machine, and I put my hand across it like that. And I'm like, hey, machine, has anybody told you that you got a smooth countertop right here? You know, when's the last time anybody wiped your glass down? I got you. Don't even trip, you know. If I put money in, you gonna give some out or what? Like, how's that work, you know? I'm over here talking to my machine. I'm over here freaking rubbing his buttons on the side that nobody even pays attention to, you know? I'm freaking clicking that bet button like that, you know? I'm doing all types of shit, trying to get some money out of this machine. And, you know, sure enough, she ain't lying. It starts kind of like interacting with me. So I'm over here freaking getting freaky with my machine. I'm over here trying to shake it out. I'm trying to shake the machine out of some pennies, you know. I want some freaking change to fall on the ground. I want to do it so good that a freaking song or freaking bells and whistles start going off, you know. That's what I was in it for. And, yeah, man, I didn't win much, though. You know, I left not winning a lot. But it was a good time. I had a great, you know, time or whatever. So that was kind of fun. That was my weekend. Yeah, man, that's kind of all I got for this weekend. I didn't do much. I'm trying to put myself out there a little more and do some crazy shit. That way we have some stuff to talk about on the pod. But in the meantime, hey, man, thanks for tapping in with VinnyVin. That's me. Appreciate you guys, you know, putting up with me, and let's get after it. Let's be legendary. I'm freaking tired, so I'm going to call this a night, and we're going to get to it. Edit's going to be done, and I'll have a video for y'all tomorrow. All right, then. Deuce.
Let's just dance in slow mo.